Hey, what's up, guys? It's the dynamic duo, Shakur and Smith. It's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith. And I'm happy today, damn it. And why am I happy? Because Trump is gone. He has vacated the premises, and we're back to some normalcy. If you join us for the first time, Smith and I, we both have a love for history, politics, and race. I'm a film and TV director, and Smith here is a veteran of the Army Reserves and currently works for the VA. And we have one of the coolest political, historical, race, current event podcasts on the planet. Let me just say that. And so today we're going to talk about how, the inaugural that just took place is one of the most important in history. That's what we're going to talk about today. And Smith, thanks for checking in. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Just much better now that it's the 21st. Nothing crazy happened so far.
I wanted to touch on that too. I wanted to touch on that too because my mom was one of those people that was all worried. Oh, they're going to storm the 50 capitals, and I was telling her mom it's not going to happen.
No,
I was like, it's not going to happen. I didn't think so either. I at least thought they would come out in March and in the open carry states have their guns. I thought they were going to do that.
Yeah.
But I think those fools, I'm gonna call them what they are, were like, let's not rile anything up. I'm not saying they all got it from the South, but those people I saw storm the Capitol look like they talk like that. I'm sorry. I'm not
what I would say is, I think with the fact that so many people are being arrested and after the last insurgents, that I think it put people on warning, like, I don't think I want to. So many, actually,
because over 100 of them has been arrested already, 100 plus,
and so many people ran away and hid after the stuff went down. So that's the interesting part. If you don't think you did anything wrong, which, tens of thousands of people posted stuff on, let's just say hundreds of people posted stuff on Facebook or posted stuff on social media, selfies, video, whatever. And so if you were cocky enough and braggadocious enough to do it then, keep it out there, because obviously you didn't think you did anything wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. Or they had that sense of white privilege that we always talk about, and they knew they did something wrong, but thought because they were white they could get away with it.
Yes. Sorry, that's the other. Yeah.
That's the other side of the coin.
That's the a big side, because or not only were they white privileged, but then I've heard and read how some of the Capitol Police were saying how officers were flashing their badges, or just even the people who said Blue Lives Matter, all of a sudden were telling those cops, you need to stand down and side with us. We've been supporting you all this time, when, again, that's where the narrative has always just been wrong.
Yeah.
And it's made people think that, Trumpsters are not, they're about the police more than they would always pit it against Democrats.
Right.
And or liberals. And that's not true. When we support police just as much, if not probably more, and it could be seen as, or just the same as the other side.
Yeah. No, I agree. So let's talk about the inauguration real quick, man. I actually thought that it was a really nice event. The only thing that I was kind of sad about was that the crowd couldn't be there that wanted to be there. I think one of the shows I was explaining to you that I had a couple of friends, and I still can't remember who it was, that actually had gotten passes, and they were telling me the process and stuff, and they had planned to go and stuff like that, and just social distance, wear the mask and stuff, the same way Al Sharpton did his march a few months ago. He had them there and everybody wore a mask. It was fine. So I think that part of it was kind of sad to me, because it was one of the most important ones in history because of who we had in there before. But besides that, I really thought that it was a beautiful moment. I liked the show afterwards, how they had all the different entertainers perform and everybody give like really uplifting songs and stuff like that. The young Harvard student, African-American sister that did the poem, you know, I really thought it was an amazing moment, and I definitely got to give kudos to Mike Pence for following a historical tradition and showing up and passing over the vice presidency to Kamala and her husband. Yeah. And it's just a shame to me that Trump, of course, couldn't, continue the historical way it's been done and be there and hand it over to Biden. Instead, like the coward rat he is, he held his own thing over at Andrews Air Force Base, where he had his crowd, and boasting about the things they did all the 4 years and this, that, and the other. That's what he decided to do instead of showing up where he was actually supposed to be. Yeah. So yeah, man, those were the only disappointing parts about it, and some of the great parts, but he was so terrible that at the end of the day, I don't think people would have wanted him there anyway, had he decided to show up at the last minute. I think he did the right thing by leaving that little note he left, which Biden said if he gets clearance from Trump, he'll share it, since it was a private letter. So maybe that was the right thing to do. Just leave a little weak ass note and get the hell up, get the hell out. Go ahead, I'll throw it to you.
The inauguration. So let me first say that there are some things you can benefit Trump from. And I'll say what I benefited from him in this 4 years is that I became more politically aware. I knew some things, but I didn't know. There's a lot I did not know
I did too.
or think about or care about.
I agree.
And he made politics something to really look into, to be aware of, not only voting, every 4 years, but to do the midterms and stuff like that. So that, hey, he made, he that's a positive in my life that I feel like he brought. But
I agree with you. Yeah.
So the inauguration was very kind of, I gotta say, when I was watching the part where Kamala was being sworn in, yeah, I shed some tears, because that's a historic time. Not only she is a female, but Black and Indian. And so when that it gets represented, it's deeper. It just feels good.
I agree, yeah.
And then, like you said, the 20-year-old who was in her poem or speech, that one thing I've come to realize is when African Americans are brought onto the world stage, to be able to talk or present something that has to do with the presidency or just anything glorious about this country, we actually sit there and we like, her speech was moving. Yeah, it was just moving, and the fact, and then there was so many positive things that it was talking about, looking for the future, unity, and it doesn't normally happen that much on the other side. Like, I feel, or I recall when Trump did his thing, he talked about how bad the country was and how he was going to make it better. But instead, what we do is we come about talking about what we can do to make things, just making things better. It's not talking about what was bad. And some, maybe there's the underlying, but it's the tone is there, but yet we talk about what we can do to make a better future. And I don't feel like it's more like, there's a difference in that. I see more projection of what they present a bad side of things and how to make things better, where we just present or just state, this is how we can be better. There is no really talking about what happened and how things were bad at one point. Just like, we want to have unity, togetherness, equality, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's understood that hasn't been done, but it's not emphasized before the poem or whatever is being presented. It's just presented in that light.
Right. And that's a good thing.
I guess my underlying tone is what people don't realize, and white supremacy is they're scared of the fact that at some point blacks are going to take over and revolt against them, but they don't realize that most African Americans are just looking for things to be equal in general, and that's we just want to be equals, not trying to be better than anyone, just to be equals. And the fact that there's that pushback makes things that's where the problems happen. So overall, like I say, I was emotional, happy to see Kamala get into the office. Just happy, like I think you were saying, to have normalcy where I ain't got to worry about Biden saying something so crazy off the wall to another country, or about some people that you're just like, damn, did he really just say that? But and I know there's a lot of Republicans out there who think he doesn't know what he's saying, and as much as he's flubbed or messed up his words, Trump has said some stuff and done the same thing, and like the hypocrisy of it all, irony or whatever. Let's just move on. That is a lot to say, because I didn't move on, and we look at the past 4 years, and when Trump became president, and to say he wasn't my president is not to say because I didn't think he was legitimately put into office. It was more because he didn't represent me in the words that he said. Right. So that's why I really want people to understand is when most people said he wasn't my president, it's because he didn't represent us. He didn't represent me. Instead, he represented a small subgroup, and he kept with that group the whole time, never changed. And as far as I know, never will. So I'll end on that.
Well, I didn't call him my president because I don't think he was elected, fairly, because I don't believe in the electoral college. I'm like Colorado and all those other states that just adopted to go only based on the popular vote. So I don't think that he was elected correctly, because it was based on a system of slavery, which we've talked about before, and it needs to be taken out of the Constitution. And I've been hearing murmurs about it again on the news about them trying to end the electoral college, which I actually think they should. But anyway, I don't want to go into a whole conversation about that again. but that's why I never called him on top of everything you said. I'm adding that as my other reasoning. You know what I'm saying? Yep. But today, good segue to stay on Trump for a second is they were talking about today on the news how they heard he was there have been talks of him starting some Patriot Party, starting a third party called the Patriot Party, as a way to get all his supporters of 75 million plus people, to stay with him. And I hope those people realize what he's done already is all he wants to do is use them to raise money, make money, steal them. That's all he's done already. On his way out. So I don't know if that's true or not, but it's something that I did think about. And it made me go, is he going to try something like that? And sure enough, I heard it today. Like I said, I don't know how true enough it is. Let's all wait and see if he does try to do that, how successful he actually is and what impact he and or his followers may have on the political climate in the United States. Yeah, he's able to do that. What's your opinion on that whole Patriot Party thing?
I think he's trying to still be relevant. If Republicans don't want him to successfully peel off some of their supporters or members, then they need to quiet him by actually impeaching him when everything's said and done. Because it's interesting that Mitch McConnell did say that Donald Trump said stuff that got that group riled up, and he was part of. He caused the riot.
He should be in jail right now.
It's interesting because McConnell is that kind of person who will say that, but then still vote to acquit. So I'm only gonna say it's interesting that he's saying it, but we'll see what happens when it comes, when
it comes down to it. Right.
But I don't get it. It's hard to me to understand. You could still stay all Republicans and say that this person did the bad stuff that he did, and move on from that. But if you keep supporting him in some sort of way, then you're actually making him part of your party. But this Patriot Party, I mean, we've always, I think we even said it'd be nice to have more than just two parties. Mm-hmm. It would be nice to have, he can have his Patriot. You got the Republican, you got Democrat, and maybe a Green or. Yeah,
because right now we have independent, Democrat, Republican, but the independents are always so low, you don't hear nothing about them. Yeah.
And if he gets the people he wants, his party actually becomes pretty big enough that it can be.
I don't know. I don't understand the process of that. I mean, can you form a new party and have it be validated and all that? And there's got to be some rules. Yeah.
The part that's going to be interesting is, you can have three parties. Can they get enough votes or people to vote for that person to get into, or those people to get in offices? And actually, they're quite we were going to talk about like QAnon. There's quite a few politicians that follow that philosophy, that QAnon conspiracy, that got into office because of Trump. So it's possible those few people could splinter and they could be now part of the Patriot Party. So you could automatically, in just a matter of a year, all of a sudden a new party can pop up. And that's why I say it's important, if this person who's trying to create the party is not the right person to do it, not to punish, but if they've done wrong things and they deserve to be prosecuted, then they got to be prosecuted.
So it is possible to have like four parties. So we'll have, if he's successful, it'd be the Patriot, Independent, Democrat, Republican, if he is successful. I wonder what the process is about starting another party. I want to look that up.
I think it's all about if you have enough members to vote that group. So I don't know that there's any more than what people do normally. You just have the name of the other party.
Right. But I wonder if there's a process to actually get it on the ballot, like print it up, Patriot Party, and I wonder if what I'm saying, and you can get in the convention. And
I think I've seen
the Green Party or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Another name I've seen. That.
Yeah, I've seen other stuff. That's true.
As long as if they have enough people,
they can.
If they can reach whatever that percentage is.
Whatever that
be
number
put on the ballot, they're good to go. So he can.
Wow.
He can
so let's see if he does this, guys. Yeah.
And again, if he's trying to create a different party that's pulling most likely majority Republican, why would Republicans want to stick with that man who has done a lot to bring? Actually, he said, or he was brought to Washington and he was elected by his supporters because they felt he was disruptive and he was not part of Washington or part of the swamp. The part that I find interesting is he did all those pardons, and he took back his own executive order that prevented people who were in political office to become lobbyists. You know what I'm saying? So now he rescinded his own executive order to now allow his people that were in office to now become lobbyists again. Because he even took lobbyists before that. But it's just interesting to, if anyone out here goes, he's did his best to drain the swamp. No,
he didn't.
The swamp was there.
He said that, but he never did that. Yeah.
Yep. He cleared he opened up the swamp again.
He opened the swamp gates. Yeah. He never drained any swamp at all.
Well, let's see if he forms this Patriot Party, and
hopefully with the impeachment trial, they ban him from ever running for office, because then whether he starts his Patriot Party or not, he won't be able to run.
Correct.
So that's one good thing, guys.
And you said that previously you said that if he does that, or they could also prevent the family.
His family too. That's what I was told.
Because I've been hearing that Ivanka wants to be.
Yeah, they could prevent his family too. I heard. Mm-hmm. They said they could prevent his family too. But let's see. I don't know whether that's true, and that's something that we could look up. What I was going to say, another thing that's funny, because I saw on CNN today how I forget the Republican senator's name, but he was one of the ones who had voted to go against the Electoral College count that day the insurrection happened. And today he sent a letter to Biden saying he wants to work with him. Now, if I'm Biden sitting in my office and I see what he letters from these guys, I will probably just laugh. Because my understanding is that a lot of the Democrats think that all those guys should be kicked out of office, every single one of them, that also was a part of that vote against the Electoral College count, which in turn could have also helped incite that insurrection when they see all their support, even from the inside. And I think even one of them was seen walking some of those guys through the day before. You know what I mean? You know, me personally, I think every single one of them, including Ted Cruz, should be kicked out of office. Every single one who was a part of that thing that day should be kicked out. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. You know, and as far as them writing to Biden saying, "Hey, let's work together now," it is a joke. I'm sorry. So you're gonna vote against me, almost have some of us killed, and now I'm supposed to go, okay, let's work together. Let's bygones be bygones. Last Wednesday didn't happen. January 6th didn't happen. Let's all work together. Yeah, buddy. You know, thanks for that letter. Like really? And hats off to Poppy Harlow on CNN. She was grilling him. She was saying what I was saying. So you mean to tell me he should just, you know what I mean, not accept your letter and work with you after, you know what I mean? Anyway.
No, I do definitely agree and understand all that. I cannot understand how they even think, oh, I've done this. I've said and agree with these lies, saying that the election was stolen. It's a fraud, but I want to work with you.
Right, right.
Like, okay, whatever. Like, as you said, they really shouldn't be in office. I don't think
they all should be kicked out.
I agree. They should. There should be a way,
some consequences
to pull them
for that.
out of to pull them out of office for what they've done, because it created way more violence than it did anything else.
Right. You know, they weren't standing on the right side of truth. They were literally following a lunatic and going down the rabbit hole with them. Period.
And there's a guy, Lankford, another, I don't know if he's senator or House, but a representative, and he said he wrote a letter apologizing to his Black constituents. Like they said, you not, going along with this lie that devalues our vote, makes us look like it's, there's no reason. There's different. They gave some reasons. It was just like very valid in my point, because that's how I would feel and do feel about people or the states that random. It's interesting how a senator or representative from one state is going to say how badly some other state has done their thing. Like, what?
Yeah.
You're not even familiar. Or if you are familiar, which seemed to be, they knew it was a lie, but they still went along with it, saying that their constituents were concerned, when really they need to say to their constituents, I'm sorry you were lied to.
Yeah, that's all they had to say.
Like, instead of, they should just, you know what? You were lied to.
That's all they had to say.
True. It was fair and equal. Nothing really to look here, nothing to be concerned.
Yeah. Instead, they went right along with it, all the way to the insurrection. And what makes it even worse is, even after the insurrection, they still went along with it, man.
Yeah.
Those people should be kicked out, every single one of them, who after that insurrection didn't go, guys, enough is enough. And they came back that evening and stayed till 3-4 in the morning. They all should say, guys, you know what? Enough is enough.
So all
this is happening whether we do this or not. We need to stop lying. They all should be kicked out. I forgot how many of them it was. It was still like 10 of them, right, that actually went against it.
Yeah. what's interesting is well, it was 100 and something for one, and then over like 100 in the House, 10 or 11, or was it 12 in the? It's 10 or whatever in the Senate. But I just want to also point out Representative Marjorie Green from Georgia said Thursday she is filing articles of impeachment against President Biden as soon as he is in office, and it all has to do like he's abuse of power when he was vice president. Or it's like saying he's going to be doing something bad, and I'm preemptively claiming that he's doing something bad. I don't get it. I don't understand how to do it. But she's already made an announcement that she's gonna.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. We all know that's not gonna work. That's gonna end up a mute point for sure. You know, but again, man, all those, because it was so before the insurrection that day. How many? Do you remember? It was 16 or 19 of them total, something like that. I remember it was a certain amount of them that was voting against the Electoral College count, the validation of the count. But then after the insurrection, after the insurrection, because it wasn't all of the Republicans that was going against it. It was only like a select few. Ted Cruz led it, but I think it was 16 or 19 or 14 or something like that. Then after the insurrection, they thought most of them would drop out, but still, I think 9 came back. I think the number could be wrong. Yeah. But I think 9 of them total ended up coming back and still voting against it even after the insurrection.
Correct. It was a higher number before, and then after it was only like you said, 9, maybe 10 or 12.
Something like number. That. Yeah, it wasn't the same amount. So some people did drop off.
Yes.
You know,
some people realize that, okay, I've been going along with this lie that the election is somehow not legal,
and then it's almost gotten me killed.
Yeah, which, you know what, I get saying the election needs to always be fair. We need to tighten up to make sure that things are being done right. That's one thing. That's one thing, and that's something you just do while you're in office, you know. But you don't go 4 years or even the 2 years between, have votes happen, and then go, oh no, it's election time. Now I don't like what's going on. Right. It's been passed. Republicans agreed at the time and passed it, and then go, oh no.
Right.
These Democrats tricked you into. No one tricks any. I mean, there are tricks being played, but that's not what happened. So it's sad. I hope that people over time just come to realize that they've been fooled a little, and not that they gotta come out and repent to everyone. Just understand you've been fooled and just be open to go. Right. Okay, I won't let myself get fooled as quickly next time.
Right. Exactly.
Because I almost feel like when people after Trump got elected and the news had found out, all these, after all the reports and were brought out of these companies that were talking to supporters that were doing different little things to get Trump into office, when they came to realize, oh, you were talking to some agent who was trying to trick you. And they're like, no, I wasn't. I can't believe I did. Like almost everyone, it feels like no one wants to admit, like Trump, that they did something wrong. Instead, they fight back or push back and say, oh, no, it was nothing wrong about what I did. Or, no, I would never get fooled into following someone else. Like, it happened. Let's just, if you're smart, move on and be more aware. So, like, when your grandmother or, family member gets scammed, you're praying that they learn their lesson and they won't get scammed again. These people are like, no, give me more.
Right. Man, it's nuts. I was saying earlier that I'm happy. I know this morning, I woke up, and I turned the TV on, and it was just nice for the headline not to be about Trump or not to be about some tweet or some lie or some shenanigans. It was just nice to wake up to a normal news morning on CNN and NBC4 and just normal, like today I was
normalcy.
Yeah, I was watching the press briefing. It was nice to have someone up there being honest and just listening to the questions from the reporters and just answering correctly and spending time like the way, because we want to know, the people want to know, those people in there asking questions that we would want to know.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's how we get some of the answers we get. You know what I mean? It was just nice to have some normalcy back, man. You know what I mean? It was so refreshing. I was like, oh my goodness. The last thing on my list are the pardons, and I just wanted to touch on him pardoning Bannon and Lil Wayne and Kodak Black and the rest of the list. I don't even know. Those are the ones that stood out because I'm part of entertainment. I obviously know who those are, and Bannon, of course. But the rest of the 100 people, I don't know who they are and stuff like that. But I kind of wanted to just touch on Kodak Black a little bit. I think I was telling you off air that Trump has no idea who he is and how in the world did he get a pardon from. And it's funny, before the pardons came out and I saw on social media that Kodak Black was asking for a pardon, the first thing I said to myself, that ain't gonna happen. then when I saw them actually pardoning him, I was like, what?
What? Yeah.
I couldn't even believe it, man. Go ahead.
So I read and I've listened to some stuff, and one thing that I'm gonna go with is Trump actually increased his numbers on minorities supporters this past election, and I think that's like some people just went out and actually went to vote, and it sucks. Well, when I say it sucks that they voted for him, because I wish, but I'm happy people are voting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But so in particular, specifically about Kodak Black and Lil Wayne, it is interesting, but it makes a little bit of sense because it makes him still relative. If someone wants to point out that Trump is not racist, they're going to look at that tweet, and there was a tweet by Snoop Dogg who thanked him for pardoning. I don't know if it was Lil Wayne or if it was Kodak Black, but the fact that he gets the cred to say,
right,
Snoop Dogg just gave me a tweet. Okay. So there's the idea that most people are not our memory of whatever happened. It's short. It only happens for weeks, maybe years, but it gets shorter and shorter. By him doing that, someone could say to me or to to us, if you're having a discussion about Trump, you can be like, well, why did he pardon Lil Wayne, or why did he commute to serve the sentence for Kodak Black? And all you can do is look at that person. And okay, so the first thing when we talked offline, and I said to you was, I wonder how much money someone paid, and it got to him that So the question I first am asking is, how much money he might have got out of that. But if he didn't, then if anything, if the optics make it look good and it keeps him relative, it also allows someone to say, hey, he's not, like he says, I'm the least racist person. So he's not as racist as you would expect him to be, but he's still racist, but he is willing to do stuff for
only if it benefits him, though. He's very narcissistic, so only way those things happen is if it benefits him in some way. That's it.
And in that one, and like
we all know that, yeah.
The benefit is the optics make it look like he's not as racist as he is.
Right, it's benefiting him in some way. Lil Wayne, I'm not so shocked about because Lil Wayne is like an icon. Obama even mentioned Lil Wayne in one of his speeches in his presidency. Stuff like that. I know Trump knows who Lil Wayne is. That's different. Lil Wayne went down and visited him and all that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure made some type of donation. I could be wrong, guys. I'm speculating. You know what I'm saying?
This is all allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. Lil Wayne probably allegedly gave him some sort of campaign contribution towards it. Who knows? But I won't be surprised because Trump don't do nothing for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Kodak Black, on the other hand, I don't even think Trump knew who he was. And I'm not hating. I like the fact that the brother got out of jail. That's always great, as much as we're put in the jail unfairly and stuff like that. And you have slimy bastards like Bannon getting out who committed crazy crimes. Why shouldn't Kodak Black? So I'm in no way audience saying that Kodak Black shouldn't have gotten out. I'm just simply saying that it was surprising, and I'm sure there was some major play in there for Trump why it happened. That's all I'm saying. I never thought, you know what I mean, when I first heard about it. But I'm happy the brother got out.
I did expect him to maybe pardon the Tiger King.
Oh, I didn't know nothing about it. I saw that he was upset that he didn't get pardoned.
Yeah.
But I didn't know nothing about the Tiger. I didn't watch the show on Netflix, nothing.
Yeah, only reason I thought he might do it is just because of the celebrity, and it would have put him made him bigger, because people would have been like, "Oh my God, he did this!" But
be interesting, man. And so let's see. So again, just to sum the show up for me, I just wanted to say that it was one of the most important inaugurations for all those good and bad reasons we mentioned. We have a fresh new start in the office without the lies, without the shenanigans. We have our first African American and South Asian vice president, first female vice president in history. A woman has never touched that Bible before until this week, guys. And I wonder how her husband feels to be the first second gentleman. That's never happened before in history. You know what I mean? And I really think a lot of positive changes are going to come out of this new presidency as a result of how terrible Trump was. Because usually it takes something really, really bad and extreme for something really, really good and extreme to happen on another side of it, because it puts attention, like you say, it made you more politically alert, and it did for me as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think most people probably came out of it. So again, I'm gonna give Trump that positive thing that he made probably most Americans aware of what of the whole political process. What is a good protest, what's not a good protest, and all that other stuff. And to sum back up to, it was very emotional watching Kamala get sworn in. It was very positive. And then it was interesting to see the mall not filled with people, instead with the flags and stuff. Unfortunately, there's 400,000 people, or almost 400,000 people, who are not able to see what happened because they passed away during because of COVID and everything. But it's just seeing the little traditions. I didn't realize some of the people that walked. Again, you may watch a little bit of the inauguration most of the time, but I got to say, I've never watched as much as I have of anything in the last 4 years. And it just makes you more, weird word to use, patriotic, or more understanding. Again, in my mind, that's the stuff that makes America great, is seeing an administration like I have today, and seeing the people that came to wish him do well. Just the visuals of it all. It wasn't just a bunch of white people. It wasn't, a bunch of black people. It was a nice mix, and they were there. They did their thing, and it's, again, glad to have normalcy in the presidency, so that we can not have stupid shit.
Right.
Yeah, man. Cool. All right, Smith, man. I guess that's our show.
I think it is.
Yeah, guys. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, ISENT Group Digital. Thank you for listening where you get your podcasts. We are everywhere. Check in with us. Give us some likes, some stars, some thumbs up wherever you can. It's greatly appreciated. And Yeah, don't forget to follow us on social media. All that stuff is on the screen and in the description. And we will see you guys next week. Smith, thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
And yeah, man, you're welcome. Yeah, and let's make this next 4 years a good one, we hope. And I think it'll be much better.
And I don't expect, like things to be 100% better.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just, like you said, I'm just looking for normalcy right now. I just want to not expect something that's going on to be, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Positive.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, on that note, it's the HPR Chronicles Podcast with Shakur and Smith. We're signing off, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.